Hello, crying kitten. How are you doing today? Working on anything interesting? Hello there, Therian. I'll sit down so you can see me a bit better. I'm standing up so I can work on the top of my project. If you don't mind me asking, what kind of Therian? If you don't mind, of course. That's totally fair. I just know some people love to talk about their stereotypes, so I thought if you wanted to, I would give you the chance. I am working on what will eventually be a puppy head mask. This is my second layer of paper mache that I'm applying now. I did my first layer on stream yesterday. Yeah. Let's see. One of the sides of this I'm not quite happy with, but that's okay. One great thing about paper mache is it's pretty forgiving. In fact, maybe I can fix it right now. There we go. Currently, I'm trying to make it so that both sides of my mask are roughly the same shape. I ended up with a weird lump on one side, so I'm currently flattening it out just a little bit. It's never going to be perfect or completely symmetrical, but that's okay. Part of what's nice about handmade stuff is the little imperfections. There we go. That's much smoother, much closer to even now. Should have torn these pieces a little bit smaller. They are longer than I need them. But I can tear them as I go, so that's not too big of a problem either. Anyway, people in chat, what are you up to today? Are you working on any projects? Maybe looking to virtually body double to get some things done? Masks are always really neat. You don't see as many of them out there, or at least I feel like you don't see as many of them out there as you do canines, and that's unfortunate because cat faces are really interestingly shaped. And calico gives you such a nice color palette to work with. Have you seen the calico hair trend that was going around on TikTok a bit? Where people are dyeing their hair black, red, brown, and blonde to look like a calico cat. I think that's really neat. I've actually considered doing it to my own hair, possibly. But at the current moment, I'm trying to avoid the urge to dye my hair again. I also like to rest while listening to live streams. Just having sort of the conversational background noise is nice. But yeah, it looks really cool. Um, if I did do it, I would probably want to get it professionally done. I'm good enough doing my own to do like single colors decently well, but a more complex design, I don't know if I would do a very good job at. Nice to have you back, Therian. I don't know if you caught the conversation about calico hair, but there was a trend on TikTok relatively recently where people were doing their hair calico cat colors. The last time I dyed mine, I did it a red brown, a nice fox color, as you might guess from the fox fursuit head here with me. I tend towards foxes. Though what I'm making right now isn't going to be a fox. It's going to be a puppy, or at least that's the intent. The more I work on it, the more I feel like the head shape is kind of giving puma, which would also be pretty interesting. I love it. I need to make a video about it in particular because I get questions about it when I'm streaming. I bought it secondhand, or as my girlfriend would say, second paw, um, because it wasn't actually like custom made to look like my fursuit or anything, but it's so similar that it just fits perfectly. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, Therian. What kind of mask was it? Well, maybe once I'm done making the base, I'll end up turning it into a large cat of some kind. Again, you don't see big cats that often, so it's not like it would be too much of a shame to make a big cat head. What I had done originally is I was using a free base pattern to make what was intended to be a puppy head. Um, it was meant to be that you would trace the pattern out onto foam, cut the foam out, and then glue it together, and that would be your foam base. But I don't really like working with foam, so I thought that I would experiment with making the pattern out of brown package paper and then covering it with paper mache, which as you can tell is what I'm doing now. The process of first making it out of paper at all, um, and then paper macheing over it, has sort of changed the way the shape of the base looks, which I'm fine with. I didn't necessarily expect it, but it makes sense if you're putting that much weight onto a paper base that it's going to sort of shift. And also, besides that, um, using a thin material in place of foam in the first place changed the way the pieces shaped together. You're at school, Nora Flower. Are you on break or skipping class to watch YouTube? I wouldn't recommend that, but I know how it is. I'm glad to hear that you were able to fix your mask, Therian. I would like to be able to have this position so that you guys can see the front of it while I work on it, but I need to be able to see it so that I can do some detail work on the snout. That sounds like a cool drawing. Do you share your drawings online? I'd check them out at some point if you do. At your local Five Below. Fun. For update on this, what I'm doing right now is I'm reinforcing the round section that is against the balloon itself um, before I ultimately decide to remove the balloon so that I can do detail work on the snout and maybe more dog-like again, or just say whatever, I'm doing a puma. Also, sorry to hear that you're sick. That's no fun. I'm also a little bit sick. I'm recovering from a cold. Today I'm feeling decently good, but it's been like a week and a half, so should be starting to feel better finally. I'm also crafting in part to avoid doing schoolwork that I should be working on. I've got 15-page essay I'm supposed to be writing. How many of you here have done paper mache before? It's not my most commonly used type of craft, but I do like it. It's got a very unique, well, quite literally feel to it. Hello there, Natukas. Don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I apologize if I didn't. How are you doing today? What are you up to? So, Ooh, a paper mache canine mask. That's so fun. This one's also supposed to be a canine. It's supposed to be a puppy, but the more I work on it, the more it starts to look like a big cat, which I could live with. Nice. Um, I might be able to make it look more dog-like once I do detail work on the snout. Right now, I'm just sort of reinforcing the overall head shape to make sure that when I take it off of the balloon, it doesn't collapse. Though I always underestimate the strength of paper mache. It's probably not actually. Worry that it would collapse anyway. Funny, going the other way. Um, Dead Dandelions was originally going to make a tiger, but it's turned out looking like a coyote, which is the opposite dynamic of what I have going on here. Rotating this so that I can work on this other side. Eventually, I will probably try to make a fursuit head out of foam, but I don't know, I just don't like working with foam. It's not my preferred material. Ooh, foxes are so nice. Honestly, a fox head shape and a feline head shape aren't like too dissimilar. Um, I don't know. It's interesting because like the actual skull shape of them is definitely different, but once you have all the musculature and whatnot on the outside, it's not that big of a difference. Right at this current moment, I'm reinforcing the right eye. Thank you. I need to go through my old scrapbooks, notebooks, and things and see if I can figure out who the maker of these was. I bought them from an anime convention along with some really cute pins, and I would love to see if they have their stuff online because if they do, I would recommend you all to go check them out. But I don't remember the name of the maker, so I need to look and see if I can find it. Ooh, a Mothman suit. Ah, I love unusual suits. Cryptid suits. That's so cool. People are so creative. It's supposed to be a puppy, um, but currently it's looking more like a big cat. It's supposed to be the head for one of my OCs, one of my personas, um, macchiato puppy, which is, as the name implies, a coffee themed dog. So it's a puppy in white, tan, and brown. I don't have a ton of like backstory for the character. It's one of those that I made based mainly off of the visual aesthetic and less off the background. So I'll probably come up with something for them. Um, I currently imagine them as a transmasculine, non-binary puppy who spends a lot of their time writing in coffee shops. It's my first attempt at a paper mache mask, so if it doesn't turn out looking like the animal I intended it to, I mean, I'm gonna be fine with that. Um, I can always make others, and you know, a lot of my joy is in the process of making things, not in the final product. I can speak. Also, I'm thinking that I'm going to be able to do a lot of detail work on the facial structure and snout shape once I take it off of the balloon. I just want to make sure I get the main structure strong enough that it won't collapse under its own weight before I do that. Yes, I love the little snaggle tooth on this guy. I think that being able to make your own masks, heads, fursuits, all of that, anything that you can craft or DIY is worth the time that it, where did I just put that paper? Is worth the time that it takes to do, because you learn such great skills, and it's good for you to have a hobby that is hands-on like that. It keeps your mind focused on a task at hand, and it gives you something to do that isn't just mindlessly consuming other content. Um, see, into the bowl it goes to stand up. I had more to say on whatever I was just saying, but I was distracted by my own process of paper macheing. Oh yeah, also, I mean, really the great thing about DIY is that you get exactly what you want. Even if whatever you're making doesn't turn out perfect, you can do all of the customization and things that you want to get it as close to what you're looking for as possible. It's also a major confidence boost knowing that if you want something, you can find a way to make it. Right now, I'm not doing too much in the way of work on the jaw because I want to be able to support it by hand from the inside when I'm doing a lot of that, which is going to mean I'll have to take it off of the balloon. So that's going to mostly be work for tomorrow once this layer has dried. I know a lot of people make therian masks in particular out of paper mache. I think it's interesting looking at like the difference in materials that tend to be used in different communities. It seems like therians opt a lot more for paper mache and clay and things of that nature, as opposed to the foam and fur that you see on fursuits. Of course, that's just a generalization. I'm sure there are people who do differently in both subcultures, but it's interesting to see the general trends. And of course, there's also overlap in the two communities. Reaching the part of the process where I've gotten so much glue mixture on the pieces that I am not using yet that they're sticking to my gloves instead of to my project. I opted to do paper mache purely because I have more experience with it. I have not done a ton of just like standard paper craft, but I have done a lot of paper mache. So I thought, why not see if I can use those skills for a mask? I do think that like paper craft heads are super cool though. I had a friend in college who would make these just really awesome like cardstock paper craft heads of all sorts of different animals. Um, and I was always really impressed by her ability to do that. Please don't tilt over, thank you. I think once I get the base strong enough to the point where I'm comfortable that it won't just break immediately, I'm going to need to go back and look at the original pattern I was basing this off of to see what the general face shape is and see if I can make this look more dog-like. I think I might just have built the cheekbones up too high, and that might be why it's looking more like a cat than like a dog. Um, but I also know that a lot of that is going to look much more subtle once I put a layer of fabric over the top of the base. So I might also just be overthinking it. But who knows? You learn as you go. Nose is too high, eyes lower. Okay, that might be it. I will keep that in mind. Thank you for the advice. Thank you. I'm definitely pleased with how it's coming out so far for it being my first paper mache mask. In the past, when I've done paper mache, it's mainly been for, the classics, paper mache bowls, paper mache pinatas I've done. Um, yes, I am involved in therian spaces online. It's not one of those things that I identify the most strongly with, but I am interested and I'm dipping my toe in it, so to speak. Um, but then I've also been like vaguely involved in therian and otherkin spaces for, I can do math in my head, like 15 years. It's been a long time. Nice. It's always good, always fun to see others out and about. People even today act like it's just a Tumblr thing. It's like, mm, no, it's older than Tumblr. Though I guess today people probably think it's a TikTok thing because who uses Tumblr? Me, but I'm getting old. I say it. 26. Ugh. Hey, hey, Bucked. I'm doing well. I'm currently doing the second layer of paper mache on my puppy mask. I'm going to just keep calling it a puppy mask, although it's starting to look less and less like a dog. But anyway, um, I'm making sure that the overall base is strong enough that I can take the uh, balloon out so that I can support the snout from the inside while I'm doing detail work on the shape there. But that'll come later. How do I make that? Well, I started by finding a pattern for a um, for a head base online that I liked, and printed that out, traced it onto brown package paper, so it's like kind of thick, sort of crinkly brown paper that you can use to wrap packages. I taped that together. The pattern itself was originally meant to be done on to foam, but I didn't want to work with foam. So I put that on the package paper, taped the package paper together, um, propped it up on top of this balloon, and now I'm paper macheing over the top of that package paper base. Um, to actually paper mache, if you've never done it before, you use either white glue and water or flour and water. I have flour, water, and a little bit of glue in here. You take your newspaper strips, dip them in your mixture, and just lay them over whatever you're using for your base. Since I am using a just brown paper base underneath all the paper mache, it's very, of course, it's very squishable, which is part of why the overall shape of the face has sort of changed as I've been working on it, besides just building it up with paper mache. Um, and that's also why I'm going to take the entire thing off of the balloon and have one hand inside of it while I continue to work on the snout. Because I'm thinking that I can, doing it that way, once I get the wet layer of paper mache on the snout, I can sort of push it around and squish it into the shape that I want it to be a bit more. Maybe make the snout come a little bit lower down, adjust the face shape overall, things like that. But I'm going to need to be able to have one hand inside of it to do that, which I can't do if I'm still supporting it on a balloon. But I'm not quite confident enough in it to take it off of the balloon yet. Paper mache, while it's wet, is quite heavy. So I'm afraid that if I take it off of the balloon, it'll just squish in on itself. I do have a TikTok, but I don't post a ton on it. I will need to, or I can update the bio here on YouTube to have my TikTok link in it. But if you want to look it up now, because it does have a little bit of fursuit content, for example, it's X is a vowel on TikTok. Um, a vowel as in AEIOU. So X is a VOWEL. Debating what makes the most sense to do next. Honestly, I might have to take it off of the balloon to be able to do anything else really productive on this. Well, I can begin trying to unstick it from the balloon so I can slide it off and see how it reacts to being moved. Yeah, I'll have to wait till it's completely dry to do that. Getting notifications that are covering chat. Give me a second so I can close those out and actually see what, if anything, you are all writing. Side note for people who haven't done paper mache, you don't have to wear gloves. I just don't like the way the paste mixture feels if I get it under my nails. Haha, I can see chat again. I'll give you all my TikTok. Nice to meet you, Titan. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. You can also just hang out. Let's see. I am Bixie, hence the name of my channel. All right. Although I don't like the feeling of the paste, I do want to do the next part barehanded so that I can be a little bit more precise with my adjustments. Nice. Did you have a good meal? I hope you did. I am not quite sure what you mean by that. I don't necessarily have to, but I want to be able to reach inside to adjust the nose. So I'm going to try to take it off. If it looks like it's going to not hold its shape, I will stop what I'm doing. Yeah, it's probably smarter. I do like the fact that if I'm just removing it, I can go nice and slow in case it looks like it's not ready to hold its own weight, though. If I can figure out where it's still sticking, of course. Aha! That was my success noise. I will still need to prop it up on something when I'm actually letting it dry, but for now, I can make adjustments on the inside, which will be helpful. Nice. What kind of shorts do you do? You missed me taking the mask off of the balloon so that I can adjust the shape a little bit from the inside, which is going to be helpful, but is also a little bit overwhelming because now I have to be careful not to squish it. Well, at least not squish it in ways that I'm not actually trying to squish it because I'm trying to. Here, I can hold it up to you, facing you. I'm hoping to squish down the nose a little bit so that it's a little bit less like up and cat-like, while also puffing out the cheek on this side. It had gotten a little bit smashed during the process of making it. Hello. Let's see. Prop it back slightly. I've also switched to not wearing gloves because I wanted to be able to be a little bit more precise than I was having luck doing with the gloves. Oh, hey, you're studying German? Or are you German? I German is my second language, so that's why I am interested. Okay, that's already helped a little bit. I've already gotten the part that had gotten smashed in slightly to puff back out. It's a slow process, though. Nice. Is this your first year, or how long have you been studying German? I started learning it in 2016, so it's been a while. What's on my background? Here, directly behind me, directly, is a quilt that my grandmother made. Also, the blue and green in the corner is a quilt. I cannot speak Belgian. Uh, what am I going to do once I'm done with this mask? I don't know. Completely done with the mask? I'm not sure. Done with the paper mache part. I want to put fabric over it. Probably not fur, because I also don't really want to work with fur. Um, Instead, probably, I'm thinking terry cloth, so like towel fabric would be an interesting texture. Uh, I was also asked to speak German. Ich kann das machen, aber ich weiß nicht genau, was ich sagen soll. Ähm, Jetzt mache ich eine Maske, die aussehen soll wie einen Hund. There you go. A little bit of German for you. Thank you for the subscription. That means that you will be able to know anytime I go live, which I'm trying to do more often, especially when I'm working on projects like this. I'm sorry about your candy cuff. That is no good. Do you have the materials to fix it? I know that even if you do, it can be really annoying to have to fix those, but at least you would be able to do it then. Oof, beads everywhere. And I bet they're mainly the pony beads, the little round ones, and they roll away so easy. I used to make candy, just basic stuff, nothing fancy. Um, but since moving to Germany, I've had a much harder time finding pony beads for sale. They're less easy to find here for some reason. Like, I feel like in the US, you can just buy uh, pony beads in like huge tubs, like at any place that has craft supplies. But here, I have to really look for them. And even when I find them, they're like way more expensive. That's nice of you to say. I don't know. I've been making YouTube videos off and on for years, but never really gotten a ton of subscriptions, which is fine. I make content for fun, though it would be nice to get enough subscribers to be able to get ad revenue. That would be good. Say hello to Rose and Tiger the cats for me. Yeah, yeah, you can. spend a lot of money on candy supplies. In my case, it probably also helps that I got into making candy over the pandemic lockdowns, so I had a lot of time to hunt like secondhand stores and buy craft supplies that people were getting rid of. So I also didn't buy a lot of my stuff at full price to start with. Um, if you want to buy pre-made candy, um, a lot of people sell it on Etsy, um, or other places where people like sell handcrafts and secondhand stuff. So Etsy, eBay, Depop, Amazon is good for getting the supplies. Where else can you buy it if you want it pre-made? Sometimes if you go to conventions, conventions will sometimes have pre-made stuff for sale. Uh, yeah, I'd suggest Etsy for your first place to check. Everyone say hi to Golden Heart. My girlfriend has popped up in stream. Sorry to hear that. Was the nah about no, you're not going to say hi to Golden Heart, or was the nah about no, you don't want to, you wouldn't look at Etsy? I mean, sometimes stuff on Etsy is overpriced, but it can be good for things like that. Ah, I am holding this mask like this because now that the layer around the snout is somewhat wet, I'm trying to get it to shape into the shape I want it to be instead of kind of smushed. Thank you all for saying hi. You are all so sweet. I also want to remind you all that if you haven't liked the stream, you can. Usually, when you like the stream, it gets shown to more people and more people come in, which means more people to talk to. I've never shopped on Temu. It, I don't know, Temu, Wish, Shein, all those just feel the same to me in that they feel like they're probably very exploitative and not the best quality. I am, in fact, 26. I am not a teenager, and I have not been for a while. But I am trans, and a lot of people who are trans tend to look a bit younger than they are. Also, not to buy clothes from him because they have good stuff. Oh, we have bought from Temu. Okay, well, I have not personally bought from Temu, but apparently my girlfriend has. Um, oh yeah, I wasn't saying that it matters. I was just saying that oftentimes trans people tend to look a bit younger than they are. Um, I had something else to say on this topic, and I don't know what it was. Hmm. It must not have been important, and if it was, it'll come back to me. Um, but that's nice. I hope you, give your friend much support and that they are doing well with that coming out process. Oh, I wanted to say more on like Temu, Shein, like fast fashion companies. One thing about fast fashion companies is like, yeah, they will have very like trendy items or items that like might look super stylish, but usually the quality is low enough that like you might get pieces that look really nice and then they'll fall apart very quickly, which generally, I don't know, I like my stuff to last longer. Not to mention all of the like exploitative methods of things being made. Um, Lots of queer people in the chat here. Nice to meet you all. Nice to hear from you all. I am glad that my streams are working as sort of a chill place for queer people to come hang out, because that was part of my goal in starting to stream. I've almost fixed the indentation that the smashed section I was trying to fix. So, celebration for me. I am honestly not particularly clear on what handball is. I know that it's a sport, of course, but beyond that, like I don't. Does it involve a racket or a paddle? I don't know. My dad used to play handball, and I still don't know what it is. It's with your hand. Okay, I guess I should have guessed that from the word handball. Um, I think I was confusing it with a different sport. I don't know what. Bucked, I'm sorry that horses tend to throw you vigorously into walls, but I'm glad that you seem to enjoy riding horses. Golden Heart, have you played handball? Is that why you know it? Or are you just, more able to guess things from the words that they consist of than I apparently am?
The women handball team in Germany is one of the best that there is. So we are winning a lot of prizes with them.
Okay.
It is like, on ice hockey, those goals, and then you have a ball that you try to throw into that goal. And the other team tries to stop you, catch the ball, and get to the other side.
Okay.
So like a little bit of mixture of football and the goals from hockey, and without the dribbling in basketball.
My chat wants to know your name. Is that okay?
Sure. Hello, I'm Rose.
Yeah. My girlfriend's name is Rose, and she just said hi here in the IRL section of my stream. Though she just left, so she's probably gonna hop back in chat. I'm not sure though. Anyway, play football, chess, and quadrobics. Chess. I mean, yeah, chess often gets treated as a sport of a kind. I used to play soccer, but I only lasted about a half a season because I didn't like getting yelled at, so I didn't deal well with having a coach. I'm sure not all coaches yell all the time, but mine did, and that ruined my experience. beyond that, I played instruments more than I played sports. So I don't play any instruments anymore, which is a shame. You're going to transition when you're 25? Why 25 exactly? Is that because that's when you plan to be out of your parents' house or something? I came out as non-binary when I was 16, 17, or so. And I socially transitioned at that point. But I started physically transitioning when I was 20. That's when I started testosterone. And I'm now 26. I've got some videos on my channel about like sort of my transition timeline. Online, I just go by Bixie, Bixie, hence the name of my channel. Yeah, it can be really hard when you have to stay in the closet because of how you are afraid your family will react. Know that your safety is the most important thing. So if you have to stay in the closet, as much as it might hurt, like there's nothing wrong with making that choice if it's what's going to keep you safe. I know some people feel a lot of pressure to come out and come out as quickly as possible, but in the end of the day, your safety should be your top concern. Yeah, support is so important. So if you're not able to find support from family, I'd recommend finding friends who can give you emotional support. Because just having people in your life who understand what you're going through and accept you for what you're going through is super important. That's not gluey enough. Come out when you have a safe space for yourself. Yes, this is good advice from Rose. Only come out when you have a safe space for yourself where you make the rules and you are in charge so you can kick people out if necessary. I agree with that for the most part. It does get complicated in situations where you feel like you absolutely need to come out as quickly as possible for your own well-being, like if your dysphoria is extreme, because there are situations in which sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, sometimes you have to come out even if it's not the best choice for your home life. But most people aren't usually in that severe of a situation. It just comes down to doing what is going to be best and safest for you. Yes.
I'm not smoking anymore. What am I doing?
I don't know. Getting a tasty drink.
Love you.
Love you.
You need anything?
No. If you would leave the door open so that I can leave to wash my hands, this one, because I've stopped using gloves. Thank you.
Have you stopped? Have you just found them again?
No, I wanted to be able to feel the exact edges of the pieces. It's 9 p.m. where you are. It's what time?
5 p.m. at the moment.
It's 5 p.m. where I am.
That's for the future. That would be like Poland.
No, Poland isn't that far ahead of us.
So further ahead. Wait, Russia?
Possibly.
Start of Russia, Ukraine.
4 p.m. where you are. I'm gonna need to look at a time zone map.
4 p.m. could be Great Britain.
4 p.m. would be Great Britain, possibly.
Yes.
Possibly.
5 p.m. That's our time zone.
Yeah.
5 p.m. That is exactly our time zone, Berlin, Germany.
Yes. A British being. Yes.
Yeah, British being. That makes the most sense. London.
Mm-hmm. And 9 hours behind where I am. Update on what I'm doing. I've adjusted the shape of the lower jaw as much as I could from inside the head. So now I'm building up the sections that are still more indented than I wanted them to be from the outside. Meaning at this point I'm doing more decorative work or more shaping work than actual structural work, which is a nice step to have made. Don't make the frogs dirty. Oh, the frogs on my sweater. I'll wash my sweater if I get glue on it. This stuff will wash off pretty easily. It's all water-based. Yes, it's 5 p.m. here. It's earlier than I hopped on stream yesterday, because yesterday I waited till 6 here so that I could get some American viewers. But today I felt like getting to work on my mask and I didn't want to wait. Do I drink? Yes, I do. Being born and raised American, I didn't start until I was 21, which I know is late compared to many countries. Though I don't drink super often or super much. A cocktail now and then, or a beer occasionally. It's not quite accurate that Rose entirely doesn't drink, but she doesn't drink very often. Oof. hate nosebleeds. Starting to be very pleased with how the lower jaw is turning out. The upper jaw, nose area, still needs some work. The lower jaw is coming along. Parents just storming. Ooh. Wonderful, bucked. Sorry to hear about the nosebleed. I know how much those suck. I had chronic nosebleeds off and on for years. I hope you don't get yours super often. If you do, you might also deal with chronic nosebleeds, which can be caused by a lot of things. Mine were caused by blood pressure issues. Yeah, that's something Rose, Golden Heart, says to if you have a nosebleed, always lean your head forward, not backwards. One thing that always annoyed me when I was getting nosebleeds all the time is people would always tell me to lean my head backwards, which isn't a great idea because if you lean your head backwards, all of the blood from your nose can run down your throat and into your stomach, which is okay if it's only a little bit of blood, but if it's a lot, it can make you sick to your stomach, which, I mean, if I'm already dealing with a nosebleed, I don't want to also be nauseous. Lightheaded. Interesting. For me, it was always, I'd get sort of a pressure feeling in my head. So there being too much blood pressure. But if you're getting lightheaded, then that must not be caused by the same issue, which makes sense. I'm sure there's tons of things that cause nosebleeds. Yeah, I haven't had a nosebleed in a long time now because I've been taking my medicine. Yes, I do need to pick up more of my medication. That is indeed a thing that I need to remember to do. Hello there, Zen. How are you doing today? I know I'm on earlier today than yesterday because I really wanted to continue working on my mask. I am doing quite well. I am happy currently with how the mask is turning out. I managed to adjust the shape of the nose a little bit, which had been bothering me because yesterday, you were here when it happened. Yesterday, it got a little bit squished because the balloon rolled over and squished part of the still wet mask. But I've managed to largely um, fix where that had happened. And I'm making some other little adjustments to the nose shape. Never believed in live. Do you mean you've never found like good live streams to watch or never enjoyed live streams previously? For a long time, I didn't watch live streams either. I feel like I actually really started watching live streams over the pandemic lockdowns because I liked just having like the ambient sound of someone around when I was feeling lonely from being in lockdown. Thought they weren't real. Yes, yes, yes. Interesting. How did you learn that there were live streams? Did you get recommended one on your homepage or something? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Sometimes I'll watch live streams that are already over so that I can watch them at like double speed or whatever, so that I still get the like feeling of it without having to sit through pauses and things. It depends on who the live streamer is because I do also like to interact with streamers, some streamers, not all the streamers, of course. Um, I saw someone just say that they cut their hair at school. Oh yes, that's interesting. Um, why? Well, I guess is my first question. Is it that you wanted a short haircut and didn't think you would be allowed to get one? Hmm. Okay, that makes more sense. Well, I hope you don't get in too much trouble with your family for that. Okay, we just got a second layer done on the top jaw. I'm going to, once again, take it off with the balloon so I can adjust it a little bit from the inside now that it's dampened. Ugh. found a hollow spot. The inside and the outside are completely bound together. If you wonder right now, I'm looking for places where I want to or need to make adjustments. I'll catch up on chat as soon as I set my mask back down. All right, let's see. What have I missed? Much discussion going on in chat. I definitely understand the desire to cut your hair short for being misgendered. That is one of the first things that I did as part of my social transition. And it does tend to help, especially in conjunction with changing the way you dress somewhat. But it won't be like a magic bullet, so to speak. Unfortunately, like, I guess I'm just saying, don't expect it to fix all your problems. I know that you probably don't think it will, but I definitely still got misgendered after I cut my hair short. But if it helps ease your dysphoria and if it helps make you feel more comfortable in your skin, then that matters more than other people's perception. That said, do you have short haircuts in mind? Because I always think that's interesting, seeing what people go for their first short haircut. Nice. Congratulations on getting a binder. I love that wolf cuts are still popular because they are so androgynous. It's nice to have that as an option. For my first short, well, I guess my very first short haircut, I just cut my hair into a bob on my own. But my first, like, more masculine short haircut was that sort of like classic non-binary haircut where it's the undercut with the one little like floop over on the top. I don't know if people are really getting that haircut as much anymore, but they were all over the place in the 2010s. Um, I'll be back in a second. I'm taking a little tiny break to wash my hands and drink some coffee. Golden Heart is welcome to continue keeping y'all entertained in chat. I just need to take a small break. I am back, and it's coffee time. Zen's first masculine haircut was a pixie cut. I like pixie cuts. I think they get a bad rap. That said, I can see how if you were going for a masculine haircut, that might not be like ultimately you might look back and be like, that wasn't quite it. But I mean, it was a first, right? There's always your first doesn't have to be perfect. Yes. Rose always had her hair cut super short, but she's been growing it out now for a couple of years and it's getting nice and long. I'm sorry to hear that everyone is sick. Yes. I back before wolf cuts were a thing. Yes, we're gonna do a back in my day segment. Back before wolf cuts were a thing, by that name. Obviously, the long sort of shaggy hair was already popular. Like it comes in and out of style, but that mid-length to long, shaggy, very textured haircut, there's a million variations on it. When I was in middle and high school, the closest thing that was popular at that point was sort of scene hair or emo hair. I'm thinking specifically like feminine emo hair where it had the short, very textured layers and then the long extensions underneath. Is it the same as a wolf cut? No. Is there some similarities? Yes. And I feel like the vibe of those haircuts is very similar. Um, I did specify feminine emo hair simply because it's longer. And I feel like the wolf cuts tend to be longer. But the line between femme and mask emo hair was really so blurry that it also has that very androgynous vibes that I feel wolf cuts also have. I know that there were other haircuts that had that same vibe and similar looks. 80s too, for example, though I don't know the name of that hairstyle off the top of my head. But they just keep coming and going and resurging in popularity. Like many other things. I mean, we see the same things with shoe styles and pant styles. Just an interesting thing to observe. And I get the feeling that a lot of the people in my chat are younger. So I'm sure that you're tired of hearing from people who are older than you that fashion is cyclical, trends are going to come and go, things that are out of style now will come back into style. But it really is true. And I feel like by the time you start getting into your mid 20s, you will have been around long enough to start seeing fashion trends that you remember from when you were younger coming back into fashion. And that's just such a really weird feeling to have. I am also sending all of my thoughts and best energy to you, Kachan. I see that people are already giving you good advice, which is why I haven't stepped in further. But I am glad that you're here with us to get what support we can offer you in this time. I don't want to lessen the severity of the situation by continuing to talk about other things, but at the same time, I have more things to talk about, as always. Yes, Zen, thank you for the suggestion. I always use hashtags on my videos. This live does have hashtags. Sorry, I'm distracted. This live does have hashtags in the description, but not the title. I'm not sure which works better or if there is much of a difference between if you put them in the description or the title. And I don't have any shorts up yet. I have thought about making shorts and putting them up. I just haven't had anything that I thought warranted making a short. If any interesting statement comes up on the live, I would cut that out for a short. But so far, I haven't had any like super educational discussion parts. I mean, if I had something insightful to say about paper mache or fursuits or neoprene, whatever, any of the things that I've talked about on stream, if I had a very see you around buck, if I had any very insightful segments, I'd make those into shorts. I do have a couple of fursuit videos that I posted on TikTok originally that I could move over to the YouTube channel. Partially, I'm still deciding what. This sounds funny because I've been posting videos since 2011. I'm still kind of deciding what my niche here on my YouTube channel is because I know that YouTube channels that do a bunch of different types of content don't tend to get very good traction. And I do like to make like serious review content or political content or video essays, but I also like making the furry content, crafting content, all that stuff. So I guess I'm kind of anxious to lean too heavily into one thing or the other out of concern that it would cut down the reach of my other type of content. Okay, Kachan, I wish you the best. And I'm keeping you in my thoughts. I have one full-length video essay up on my channel right now that the sound quality is not super good. I mean, if you really don't want to go and you want to try to find a way to stick around, I mean, you're welcome to, but do what you need to do. Hello, Carter. I got distracted from what I was saying. I've got one full-length video essay up on my channel, which is on the ethics of extreme horror. I will preface this by saying that I know that the furry content tends to bring in a lot of younger viewers. So if you are a younger viewer, that might not be the video for you. Regardless, I thought about filming that video essay in my fursuit head because I thought that would be an interesting niche. And I get kind of self-conscious about doing video essays with my face, but I don't have the skills to put together VTuber model. I ultimately decided against it because I was afraid that combining a serious topic with furry content would severely limit the reach of that video. As it is, it wasn't a huge video. It was 6,000 views, which is better than any of my other videos, but isn't big by YouTube standards. Hello, Bucked. I was just talking about having to consider the YouTube algorithm anytime you make content. Thank you. This hoodie, I'll pull the sleeves down so I can show you some more features of it, is a communication hoodie. Rose, Golden Heart, bought it for me, and she has a matching one as well. It's got frogs for different moods. So if you are nonverbal or simply don't feel like talking, you can gesture to what frog you are feeling. So are you the really happy frog, the really sad frog, someplace in between? And it also has, and I love this part so much, yes and no on the sleeves, which is super useful. I will say the yes and no on the sleeves, the text is slightly starting to wear off, unfortunately, but it's still a very nice sweater and the print has been very useful. Rose, where did you buy the hoodies from?
I saw them on TikTok and I was Googling for the bottle on Amazon.
These came from Amazon. If you just Google communication hoodie or things like that.
Communication hoodie frogs.
Communication hoodie frogs, if you want this particular model. I've also seen ones that have like little monsters and stuff. So I would just look up communication hoodie. Originally, Rose and I saw them on TikTok. They were being advertised there. I'm having messages pop up that are blocking chat. Okay. Yes, they are super good for if you're overstimulated or nonverbal. I have seen slightly different models that also have like extra large hoods to help with overstimulation. This one's just a standard hoodie hood. But I guess what I'm saying is there are different things out there. So take some time to look around a little bit if you're and find what's going to work best for you or the people in your life. I have a message to answer. Sorry about that. Nope, it's gone. Every time I do that long it's because I thought of something to say and then I immediately forgot it. As you can all tell, I'm still taking a little break from working on my craft because I still have a quarter cup of cold coffee that I want to finish, and I don't want to get my cup all sticky with paper mache goo. I will use this as, once again, time to remind everyone who's here. If anyone who is here has not liked the stream, please go ahead and do that. It brings new people in, and feel free to subscribe so that you know next time I'm on. Rose, if you posted a link in chat, it didn't go through. YouTube tends to block links, but if you just put the name of the producer, you can do that. Yes, reminder to drink water, everyone. Once I finish my coffee, I will grab my water bottle off of the table next to the laptop. Zen has a hyperfixation on frogs. That is really nice. They have frogs on sheets, toothbrushes, etc. I love that. I have also quite liked frogs. I wouldn't say I'm hyperfixated on frogs. I'm more so a fox person. But I was interested enough in frogs that I used to get frogs as gifts all the time from like not real frogs, obviously, like frog trading cards and little frog figurines and things as gifts from one of my childhood best friends. And the funny thing is, I don't even ever remember telling them that I liked frogs or were super interested in frogs. So I guess I just acted interested enough in frogs that it stuck with her, which delights me. You know? Yes, I do have a fox fixation. I mean, that should be evidenced by the fact that I've got fox fursuit head, fox ears, another pair of fox ears that are not on screen, a fox tail, and so many fox stuffed animals. I see movement in the periphery of my vision. I think I'm going to be bought a fox plushie. A guinea pig owner? Ah, yes, I'm being brought foxes. Fox pillow, fox plush. Thank you. Um, guinea pig owner. That's nice. Um, I know Rose used to watch a channel on YouTube that was guinea pigs, and it was in German. Bucked, you weren't the one learning German, are you? If you are, I have a German guinea pig channel for you. Or more accurately, Golden Heart does, because I can't remember the name of it. Yes, okay. Uh, Rose, what's the guinea pig channel? I think she's watching. If not, I'll have to ask when she's back. Okay. Dimiris von Chanunza, who's a Mitglied, is a member of Apple War Pictures. Um, so yeah, a good combination of guinea pigs and German content there. Zen had an entirely frog-themed bedroom. Were your walls green too? I always like interestingly colored bedrooms, but also just interestingly themed bedrooms are nice too. I used to have a completely like medieval fantasy themed setup. They were green, amazing. I used to have a completely like medieval fantasy themed setup with little elf figurines and um, had armor handmade out of cardboard, swords, practice swords, not real swords, just all sorts of things, all of that kind of stuff. Dimieris. Okay, I'll go ahead and outline what my next sort of planned steps with the mask are. Bucked has green walls too. All the walls in my apartment are white because if we paint them, we'll have to repaint them white before we move out, if we move out. And that is an overwhelming amount of work to think about. Though I wouldn't mind having colored walls. Um, Once again, a message has popped up that it conveniently covers my chat, so I can't see you all. Or Posters are always a good way to make up for having plain walls. I need to grab my water. Rose says we have a wonderful white German Raufasertapete. Yes, we've got the sort of standard German wallpaper where it's kind of textured to the touch. Bucked has ivy and masks on their walls. Wonderful. Hello, Caden. Hello. I am going to go back to working on my mask shortly, but I was taking a coffee and water break and talking to chat. Zen just bought an Amazing World of Gumball poster. That's nice. I have been vaguely considering getting a Welcome to Night Vale poster. It's been years since I've listened to Welcome to Night Vale, but my parents recently gifted me a Welcome to Night Vale t-shirt, and it just got me thinking about the series again. I might re-listen to it when I have the chance, but it made me think of a poster that I used to own when I lived at my parents' house, and about how nice it would be to have one again. But mainly my walls, not in this room, but in other rooms, have art that I've made myself, mainly paintings, but also some collages and stuff. I have only seen a handful of episodes of The Amazing World of Gumball. It was not one of those cartoons that really caught my attention, but I enjoyed what I saw. Do I support therians? I mean, yeah, they're not hurting anybody. Go ahead and do whatever you need to do, Bucked. Yippee. From the phrasing of your question, I was not necessarily sure what angle it was coming from. Anyway, I realistically think that I'm almost done with this layer of work on my mask. I see a couple more places where I can do some work before I'll have to let it dry. Start by ripping some smaller pieces of paper so that I have them ready. Zen says that Steven Universe is probably their favorite. I was watching Steven Universe originally, like as it was coming out. And then I ended up sort of getting away from the series around the human zoo section. That was a big like controversy at the time when it came out. I know that now no one even talks about it really in the fandom. But anyway, I was actively watching it as it came out, got away from the series, never ended up finishing it. And then just recently, Rose and I have started, Goldenheart and I have started watching Steven Universe again, and we're actually hoping to finish the like original series, like the first part, hopefully fairly soon, whenever we remember to get back to working on it. Caden really likes My Little Pony. Golden Heart loves My Little Pony. She learned English so that she could watch the original English version instead of the German translated version. So you're definitely in good company Okay, yes, it depends what generation. I am not a fan personally. I forget about the generation thing. People say My Little Pony, and I think about when bronies were a thing. Like, yeah. Um, but I was saying that you are in good company in this chat, I assume. I have personally a pretty unusual queer awakening story in that I didn't realize that gender played any role in who people were attracted to. I was in like seventh grade or something, and one of my classmates came out as bisexual, and I didn't understand why people were making a big deal about it. And when I said that, I had someone ask me, "What are you bi too?" And I said, "I don't know." And they asked me, "Well, who do you like?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Who do I like? I like." No, it wasn't who do you like, because that I would have understood his question. It was what do you like, as in what gender. And I was so confused. I was like, "What do you mean? What do I like? I people? What do you mean?" Um, Up until that point, I guess I had thought that like if people were straight or gay or whatever, it was like just based off who people were choosing to date. Like I didn't realize that people actually weren't just attracted to people in general. Um, so that's how I realized I was pansexual and that not everyone else was. I have heard very good things about Heartstopper, but I have not seen it myself. Wasn't it also originally a comic series or like a graphic novel? I feel like I heard it was something like that. Okay, it was originally a graphic novel. And the fact that I had to ask shows you how much I know about it, which is people have mentioned it on Tumblr. And beyond that, I don't know anything. Let's see. Heartstopper is pretty much about a teen gay relationship. Nice. Sounds fun. Well, you see, If I read Fallout Equestria, then I have to be familiar not just with My Little Pony, but also with Fallout, neither of which I am particularly familiar with. That would require me to learn a lot of lore, I'm sure. At one point, you had a weird liking for. Is that a misspelling of steak? Or is this a character? I don't know. Sriak. Both strike me as equally possible. Though one would be more on topic with what had been being discussed. Oh, Shriek. I don't know who that is. Just writing. Nice. Yeah, I hope she has a good time and that it turns out well. Now, horse riding can be super difficult for a beginner, assuming she's a beginner. I mean, sounds like she is if she's wanted to do it for a long time and hasn't. Hmm. She's sending you videos now? That's cute. I'm glad to hear that she's doing well. Ooh, you're gonna make her congrats candy cuff? That sounds like a really sweet gift. If you have a horse bead, like a horse-shaped bead, I think that would be a really cute addition. Not that you necessarily need my input. So even if you don't, it's gonna be a really cute gift, I'm sure. Nice. I mean, I guess also like a horseshoe would also work if you don't want to do just a horse. So that horse would be cute. And I know that in my old candy set that I had growing up, I had a bunch of little horses in it. So that was what made me think of it. Say hello to the guinea pigs. I'm trying to fill in a weird little wrinkle that one of the cheeks of my mask has to make it smoother. I've largely succeeded in making the whole section smoother, but this one section is just continuing to give me trouble. Maybe if I do it this way instead. Not quite happy with that either. Ooh, a hairless guinea pig. I am not familiar with those, but it sounds like a very interesting pet. There, that's almost smooth. Run. Yeah, that's smooth enough. Once it dries and I put something else on it, it'll be fine. Um, I would like to know what time it is, but my hands are sticky. It is 6:11. We should start thinking about food, dinner. Well, I don't know. I guess we just ate. I don't know. I don't really need anything. There. Hello, hello, Bucked, and hello, Zen. It's going quite well. I am currently, I think all of the layers I'm going to add for today are done. So I'm just making use of the fact that the mask is still wet to squish things a little bit into the shape that I want. So, for example, I'm making more of a differentiation between the bridge of the nose and the rest of the face so that it'll look a little bit more dog-like and a little bit less big cat-like. It's going to be a subtle difference, but I think it should make a difference. It already makes a difference. And Bucked is going to order more pony beads. That's fun. Are you going to order a big mix of colors, or are you going to order like individual colors that you need? So I'm sort of just holding this a little bit while it sort of sets into place. Bags of beads. Nice. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I do have some lumps and inconsistencies in the general shape of the mask. I'm trying not to worry about it too much because, I mean, when people are using foam, those things are always kind of lumpy and weird until you get the fur on. So it'll look fine once I get a cover layer on it. That isn't to insult anyone making foam bastes, by the way. It's just trying to tell myself that I don't have to have it 100% perfect, smooth, and all that. Congratulations, Kachan. I hope you're doing okay. Candy with fidgets is so cool. I'm sorry to hear that she's been anxious. I mean, it's possible that horse riding will help with that. I know a lot of people end up feeling calmer when they get to spend time around horses. It's still not good, Kachan, but I'm sure you know that. If people in your life are not already aware of the situation, you should let a safe adult in your life know what's going on and see what help they can get for you. Congratulations, then. That's a really big milestone. And Bucked has a test coming up. Oh, well, that's really good. Granted, I don't know everything that's been going on in your life, but from what you've said here, I'm sure that that was probably the right choice for you. All right, I'm gonna wash up again. I will be, excuse me, I'll be back shortly. All right. Can be suspended as in blocked from my live chat. I mean, if he's here, I could block him, but I kind of didn't figure he probably was from school. That makes more sense. I need to plug in my laptop, and then I will discuss that in a second. Um, sure. Okay, my immediate answer is probably yes. I don't know, where you live or what your school's rules are, but if you have, proof and signs of physical abuse, that's a pretty big deal. I'm sure that if you went to your school administration, so maybe start with a teacher you trust or a like office worker, like someone in your school that you are already close to, tell them what's going on and show them, the proof you have of it. And yeah, they should definitely be able to. Yeah. There could also, as Buck said, there could also be legal consequences. Partially, it's going to depend on age, how old you guys are, where you're living, so the relevant laws in your area. I would say that the least that could happen would be, some kind of school consequence, but possibly more depending on severity and then also the specifics of where you live. Um, Regardless, you should definitely go to an adult that you trust, that you have a good relationship to, and let them know what's been going on. Where did I put the water bottle? Another reminder to you all to drink some water. I am planning to wrap up stream pretty soon because I need to let the mask dry before I do much more work on it. Um, I am up for hanging a little bit longer to continue chatting. Um, Sometimes, to Kachan, sometimes getting police involved can be difficult when you are a minor. So you're a minor, based off this discussion. Um, so that's another thing that makes me think that getting an adult in your life involved is going to be helpful to have someone to speak up for you on your behalf. Um, Also, if you do go through your school first, there might be someone there who's able to help you with pursuing other avenues. Oh, you live alone. Okay. Um, Unfortunately, there is, like, in a lot of places, the police don't really do enough to deal with domestic abuse and problems like that. Um, Try again. If Oh, at a school dorm. Okay, you live alone at a school dorm. Um, it wouldn't. Yeah, Bucked has a good suggestion of staying at a friend's if you can. Friends or family if that's an option. Um, Reaching out to teachers to let them know what's going on. Um, Also, you could try contacting the police again and hope that with a second report, things are taken a bit more seriously. Um, just notice the edge of this is sticking out a little bit. Okay, you're out of friends. There, I think that looks that. I'm starting to get my workspace cleaned up a little bit. I still have so much glue paste that I'm going to need to take a break. I'm vaguely familiar with My Hero Academia, like I've heard about it, but I have not watched it or anything. Like I'm not involved. Let's put it that way. Let's see, gloves I need to wash. Ugh, sticking. You have videos of My Hero Academia, like on your YouTube channel, or to watch yourself? Yeah, YouTube and TikTok. Nice. I'm folding up the newspaper that I've been using to protect my table, so that all of the sticky stuff, all of the glue paste that has dripped on it stays inside, and also because that way I can keep all of the pre-torn paper in there. I'm going to set aside the mask to dry for at least 12 hours before I return to it and do some more work on it. Um, Good job, Buck. Just finished your GF, as in the candy you were starting? That was fast, if so. Yeah, I'm gonna set this aside so that I stop messing with it so that it can have time to dry. Ah, fidgets, okay. And set these aside as well. And put the glue paste in the fridge. So I will be back shortly. And the mask. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, by then, yeah, it was good talking to you again, and I'm wrapping up for today, so you're not going to be missing much of anything. Let's see, did I miss anything else? By Zen. Kachan, photo evidence is definitely going to be very helpful. Very good to have on hand for anything you're reporting. Loom bands. Oh, I haven't had people make loom, or I haven't known anyone to make loom bands in so long. Hello, Allium. I have wrapped up my actual crafting process for today, so the title is a little bit of a misnomer, unfortunately. But it's good to have you in chat anyway. That said, Bucked, I don't know why you want to make loom bands. Maybe you're feeling a little bit nostalgic for making them in the past. I have messages to check again. Oops. All is good. Live tomorrow. I am currently planning to be live tomorrow. Yes. Roughly the same time. I don't have an exact schedule. Somewhere between when I started today, which was about 4 my time, and when I started yesterday, about 6 my time. So about 24 hours from now, I should be back on. Got 50K loom bands. Wow. It's nice to hear that you all are doing such crafty things with your free time. Like, that's really fun. If you all have videos of your loom bands or loom band muzzles for a fursuit, that's so cool. If you've got that up on your channel, I'll definitely check that out because that's really neat. Uh, TMR stands for tomorrow, if that was your question. If not, tomorrow, nothing special is happening. I was just thinking I would continue working on my mask. Okay, no problem, Alium. Uh, I just thought if you did have it up anywhere, I would take a look because that sounds neat. I lost track of what I was saying. Oh yeah, tomorrow's not anything special. I think I will continue work on my mask. I'm not entirely sure what the next step will be. It depends on how it's looking once it dries. I'm Bixie. I might extend the back of the head of the mask a little bit to make it into more of a bucket and less just a front piece. CapCut and Pinterest. Okay, good to know. Same username or different? I might also do a little bit more detail work in the shaping of the face of the mask. Or if I decide that I'm done with the paper mache aspect, then sealing work. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling about the mask once it is dry enough to move around and get a better look at. That is one thing that I am a little bit conflicted about when it comes to paper mache. On the one hand, it needs to be wet to be able to shape it and mold it and whatnot. On the other hand, once it's wet, it's so moldable that I can't just pick it up and look at it from every angle or try it on or whatever. So I'm going to have to let it dry before I know for sure what I want to do next to it. I'm glad you like my name. I picked it myself. Yesterday in chat, we talked very little bit about names, I believe. Yes, You, Bucked, you can definitely at me when you finish the candy bracelet. I would love to see it. Um, Again, everyone in chat has such cool projects going on. I would be very excited to see all of them. Yes, yeah. I've heard that both like plain paper and paper mache is definitely very prone to mold. So I have already been looking into different ways to seal it, whether with a liquid sealer or with tape. At this point, I'm trying not to worry about it too much because I don't necessarily think I'll wear this one super often. Um, it's more to see what I'm able to do with paper mache and less necessarily to have a head that I'm going to be constantly wearing. Yeah, we don't currently have duct tape in my house, but we've been meaning to buy some. Allium makes cat masks, so therian type cat masks, fursuits, dino masks, and shape zona heads. I'm not familiar with shape zonas, but that all sounds really creative and neat. I've also heard that some people use packing tape, so like the clear, shiny packing tape instead of duct tape, but I don't know if that works as well. Like, I'm sure it works to a certain extent. I've used clear packing tape to seal collage work, for example, in the past. Um, I'm not sure if it would keep moisture out as well as duct tape would. Kachan makes squids. Crocheted squids, sewed squids. I am also thinking that when I get around to the section of making the fursona head, oh, a paper, neat. Yeah, all of you talking about such cool things is making me feel like I need to set up a Discord that you can all drop pictures and stuff in. Because I want to see all this stuff. This is awesome. Um, uh, Allium, is that big yes to the idea of a Discord? Or is that big yes? Oh, yeah. Um, I don't know anything about setting up Discord servers, so it would take me a little bit to do that. Bucked, yes, you could definitely make Fox fan art. That would be hella cool. Rose will make me a Discord. That's so sweet. For now, because I don't have it set up right at the moment, obviously, because I just suggested it. I will say that if you're interested, yes, if you're interested in a Discord, follow me and I'll put it up in a community post or talk about it in a future stream. Here's the back of the ears and the front of the ears. I can also show you closer. They're on just sort of a standard flexible head band. Yes, I love how bright orange these ones are. I have a matching tail that I don't have on hand right at the moment, or else I would show you. Oh, thank you. I also have a second set of ears. I consider these my more like realistic fox ears. They're also a little bit more subtle because they're a little bit smaller and a little bit closer to my natural hair color. So generally, if I'm going out in public and I feel like wearing ears, doing the Kawamimi thing, usually I would wear these ones because they're a little bit more subtle, and I like that. That's nice. They look a little bit more natural. Um, but when I feel like being showier or I'm online, then I like these big bright orange ones. Gachon says that they have the pink of it. The pink of there are no pink in these ears. I guess this can look kind of pink in the lighting. But if that's what you were referring to, I'm used slightly. Um, I've gotten off topic again. Oh, the ears from the shop. I don't off the top of my head know what the makers of these were, either pair. These pairs were both made by different makers, but I bought them both from the same anime convention. I think I have the name of the maker of these ones written down somewhere. So once I find them, I will let you know. But the bright orange ones, I don't know, unfortunately. I had taken pictures of both of the stands that I bought these from, but that was on my old phone that I broke, so that doesn't help. To repeat myself, because I'm not sure if I finished this thought, if you're interested in a Discord server, yeah, I can show those off too. If you're interested in a Discord server, go ahead and follow me, and I will put it in a communities post or mention it on a future stream. I've got two more sets of ears to show you guys. These are both ears that my girlfriend has as cat ears, black and white kitty ears. You can see they're a little bit smaller than the fox ears and wind up a little differently. These were both made by the same person, so you can see the similarities in those. Okay, see you around, Bucked. And then the second pair is these ones, also on a headband, which is convenient. Wonderful, Allium. Got little bows. These, I believe, are just a. Hold them up over here so you can see better. These are just an Amazon pair, I'm pretty sure. So very accessible. Not the best quality necessarily, but they are super soft and they're cute. So those are Rose's two pairs of cat ears. Rose, should I end stream so we can consider dinner soon? Okay. I also need to head out soon. Allium has a lot of pairs of ears too. That's nice. I would love to ask you more about those and know like what kind of animal ears, what colors, all those things. But I'm going to save that discussion for another time because I'm sure I will see you around. And for now, I am going. Ooh, wait, do I have a way to? No. Sorry, I was seeing if I could figure out how to send you guys to a different streamer because I know that people sometimes do that, but I don't know how to do that through YouTube, so I simply won't. So I'll just say goodbye, and I hope you all have a good rest of your days. And keep your eye out for the Discord. Bye, all.